Welcome everybody to today's session with Anthea Major from BizInc Online. Exciting times today. We're talking about the recipe for a great accounting website, and the team at Practice Ignition, myself included, my name's Trent for those that haven't met me before. We wanted to understand from the experts, what is it that accountants are doing to help drive and generate new leads, new pieces of work? What are the things they're doing with their websites that allow them to be successful in 2017? So welcome, Anthea. It's amazing to have you with us today.
Thanks, Trent. Thanks so much to PI for having BizInc on today.
It's so good that you could be involved. Let me just a moment. I'm going to let you get started in a second, but why don't you tell us a bit about what you're doing today, and I'll let you kick off into the presentation.
Yeah, if you could let me know when you can hear me, that'll be all good. Today we'll be talking, as you mentioned, about the recipe for a great accounting website. So we'll be talking about the essentials, the winning content structure, and then we'll get into some of the magic stuff, which is where you can generate leads for your firm, which is, as we're talking about, so important. So I'll kick off now. I'll just quickly talk about some housekeeping. So we just asked you to shut down any other applications that you have open to ensure that you get the best audio and visual quality during the webinar. And we'll also be running a Q&A session at the end. So put any questions that you have throughout the webinar into that chat box, which I think in Zoom you can find at the bottom, but the questions or the chat box will be able to answer them at the end. So also, we'll be recording this webinar. There'll be some resources available at the end. So we're going to be offering a website audit. We'll have the slide deck available as well as the recording. So you'll get all of that in an email afterwards. So just quickly about me, I'm one of the marketing specialists at BizInc, and I've worked exclusively with accountants and bookkeepers all my life, all my working life, helping them with their websites and online marketing. So as you can see on screen, BizInc makes accountants and bookkeepers incredible online, and the focus today is about websites, but we have a range of online marketing tools and techniques to help accountants with their marketing. So quickly, what we'll cover today, first we'll talk about the winning content structure. This is what we've found at BizInc from working with hundreds of accountants and bookkeepers on their websites. Then we're going to be talking about website essentials. So that's what's absolutely necessary for an accounting website, even just for a great modern website these days. There's a couple of essentials there. Also, I'll be talking about design and why it's probably not as important as you think. A lot of people really get caught up with design, so I'll talk a bit about that. I'll also be talking about simplicity and how important it is. It can really go a long way in marketing, especially because of the amount of noise that's out there and the amount of messages that we're bombarded with every day. It's important to keep your website simple. Then I'll be talking about how to turn visitors into clients. So this is the real magic stuff here. A lot of people do have the winning content structure sorted, and they might get traffic to their website, but does that convert to clients? We'll show you some tools to convert visitors into actual paying clients. Then I'll be talking about some apps and add-ons. So those are some awesome little extras that can give your site a bit of a boost, and they'll help take your website to the next level. And then at the end, we'll be talking through some questions that you have. So any questions, put them into the questions box and we'll answer during the Q&A at the end. So we'll keep this workshop fairly simple. Hopefully, you're not thinking it's too hard or technical. You probably do already know the winning content structure. As I briefly mentioned, people do have that structure already, and they do know that. Hopefully, you've already got it on your site as well. But we know that many of you are just busy, just don't have the time or the skills maybe to create a great website. So BizInc can help you out with that. So let's kick off and start with, why do you need a website? Hopefully you do know that you need a website. In 2017 though, we still do get some people saying to us, I get all my business from referrals. Do I really need a website? Don't think I do. But at BizInc, we really would say that yes, you really, really do. It's an essential part of your marketing. So I wanted to give you 3 quick reasons why you do need a website. And the first is actually related to referrals. Your website seals the deal with referrals. So if you think of this typical situation, one of your clients is talking to their friend who also has a business, and they're looking for an accountant, and they recommend you. What's the first thing that person is going to do? They're going to go and search for you in Google. They're going to try and check out your website, do some due diligence, make a judgment call based on your website about you. So you're right, most of your business will probably come from referrals, but your website plays a really important role in that, in sealing the deal there. And the second reason is not all of your business does have to come from referrals. Marketing, today's marketing, particularly online marketing, can be a really great way to get you more leads. And we'll show you some more examples of exactly how to do that later on. But I just wanted to quickly talk about search engines. Like Google processes something like 40,000 searches every second. It's just one example of the power of the internet to bring more business to you. So not all of those 40,000 searches every second are going to be for accountants, obviously, but some of them will be, and some of them will be in your local area as well. So it's important that you have an online presence, because without a website, you don't really exist as an option to those people. And the final reason we'd say you need a website is for existing clients. Some of the firms we've worked with, some of BizInc's clients, they use their website as a hub or like a portal to work with their clients. They might share documents or share content, communicate with each other that way, and it becomes a really important part of their relationship with their clients, and it even helps them retain them as clients. So those are the 3 key reasons you need a website. Hopefully you do know that. Hopefully you do have a website, but we'll get started with the winning content structure now, starting with the homepage. So the purpose of a homepage is to engage a visitor, to get the visitor to dig deeper and go further into your website. So what you're trying to do with this page and throughout the whole website is to build that trust and credibility, because trust and credibility is why people would choose your accounting firm over another firm, because they trust you and they see you as a credible source. And that's a really, really key, really important thing to build when you're marketing your firm. So although your homepage is going to get a fair amount of traffic, obviously probably the most traffic, don't put all your focus on that page at the expense of other pages. So on BizInc's site, 29% of traffic goes to the homepage. So that means 71% is split up going to other pages. Traffic, we often get this question, traffic goes to other pages because of like social media or advertising. If you have landing pages, if you had a page that was optimized for a particular local area that could be getting a lot of traffic. You might have a page with a lead magnet on it or something. That's why traffic could go to other pages, obviously. The reason we say this about not putting too much emphasis on your homepage is we've seen firms put a huge amount of effort into it, but then not really think about other pages on the site, and they've kind of neglected other pages, and that's not a great look. So some things you could put on the homepage. There's obviously quite a lot. You could put images and content about yourself, content about your firm, but don't try and do everything. Don't try and tell the whole story of your firm and force too much content onto this page. One thing you do want on your homepage, and also right throughout your website, is a call to action. So a call to action is a bit of a jargony term, but it means something on the website that encourages a visitor to do something. So you're probably seen buy now buttons and maybe download our free ebook or sign up here, complete this form. Those are all examples of calls to action that you would see on hopefully every website. So these calls to action, they turn someone from being just a visitor into someone that's engaged and getting in touch with you, which is really important, obviously. So this is particularly important on the homepage, having calls to action there, but make sure you also have this right throughout your website as well. And the reason for that is people are lazy online. They're not going to spend ages digging around your site looking for contact details, so you need to make it easy for them. Because if you don't make it easy, you're probably going to lose them. It's important to remember that your competitors are only a click away as well. If they have your website up, they could very easily have your competitors open as well, looking at them. So make sure you have some calls to action. So some calls to action that we'd suggest, have a phone number on every page as a bare minimum. You could include a book a meeting button, which I'll talk about appointment booking later, and also maybe a live chat option. But basically, you want to make it easy for them to get in touch with you in the different ways that people like to. So make it easy for them to get in touch with you in the way that they would prefer. Because some people like email, some people would rather call you up, some people like phone, and some people might like a live chat or a messenger type option. So just remember to make it easy for them to get in touch with you. So I'm about to show you a good example from one of BizInc's clients that has quite a few calls to action on their homepage. So they have a contact us button. They've got their phone numbers up the top. They also have a make an appointment button, which I'll talk about later. And they also have a contact form, a let's talk. And that's all. They got 4 or 5 calls to action before you even scroll down on the homepage. So that's probably the amount we'd recommend, 4 or 5 per page. Make sure you have them on your homepage, definitely. I just wanted to quickly talk about the Practice Ignition Web Connector as well. So this is a screenshot from that same website, seechangeaccounting.com.au, if you want to check this out for yourself, how it exactly works. But I'm sure PI can give you more information on it. But BizInc websites integrate with Practice Ignition's Web Connector. So this is where they've put their packages on the site, and the client can click through right there and then, and that speaks to PI seamlessly. So it helps you generate leads as well. You can see they have to put in their contact details in the first page there. So once they click submit on the 3rd page, I believe, PI creates like a draft proposal and sends you a notification ready for your review, and then you can send it out to them. So that's a great integration we've got there, and that comes standard on BizInc sites as well. So the team page. Team page is a really great way to communicate your personality. Sometimes this is 2 pages, an about us page and a team page. Sometimes it's combined into one, more of an about us page. But that's up to you, and also up to maybe how many people you have in your firm, whether you can create a nice team page or not. But this is the 2nd most important page on the website. And the reason we say that is we did some research into our clients' web stats, and we found that the team page was the 2nd most viewed page on 90% of our clients' websites, and the 1st obviously being the home page. And that tells us that people want to see you. They want to see you, they want to see your team. And it's true, you've probably heard in any form of business that people buy from people, and especially accountants, you're in the relationship business. So they like to see that human element. So the more you can humanize your website, the better. And this is the perfect place to communicate your personality and humanize your website. So use this page to talk about yourself. You might mention your interests or hobbies outside of accounting. We know that some people are sole practitioners, might just be themselves working in the firm, so it might just be the one about us page that's more personalized. So also with this page, although it's about you, you should try and make it about your clients, because people are interested in what's in it for them. People aren't so much interested in the long history of your firm. They don't really want to read that. They don't want to read mission statements or vision statements so much. They just want to know, if they work with you, what's in it for them. So make sure you keep that in mind. Keep your clients in mind, even when you're writing about yourself. On this page, and right throughout your site, make sure you avoid marketing language. So that would be things like "we are the leading firm" or "we are renowned," that kind of those kind of words. It seems like marketing language, and it switches people off. So we see that on quite a lot of accounting websites. So just be careful with that. For your team page, we would recommend getting some good photos taken. That's better than mugshots in the dark or some stock images which aren't really personal. So I wanted to give you a good example of a team page. This is one of BizInc's clients in the US. They got some caricatures created, which is a great way to communicate their personality, and it's a great point of difference for this firm. They get a lot of great feedback about this site, and you might not do this exactly, but you can do something similar. At least definitely put a photo of yourself up there. So even if you don't have a big team, you can do something like this. Case studies and testimonials. These are really important because good feedback from clients is a really, really powerful way to convince people to work with you. So they give people a reason to believe that you do what you say you do. It's a really great way to demonstrate your value, your expertise, and they might tip a prospect into a paying customer. So testimonials are usually shorter statements from clients, and they affirm your performance, your quality, your value. Case studies usually go a bit more in depth, and I'd really recommend having a look at case studies for your website, getting them developed and using them in your marketing as well. They go a bit more in depth. They show outcomes you've gotten for the businesses you've worked with, and they can be really, really powerful. So have a look at that as well. Wise Advice, one of BizInc's clients, I don't have a screenshot just here with me, but they do testimonials really well on their homepage throughout their site. So they've got some nice photos and videos done of them talking to clients on video testimonials. So it's really powerful on their site as well. I can include that link in the follow-up email as well. So now services. We would recommend that you actually keep your services brief. Ideally, probably only 1 or 2 pages. Maybe you could split it by individual or business services if that's how you operate, but definitely limit it to only a couple of pages and keep it simple throughout the services content. That's better than having complex pages that are full of technical descriptions about what you do that people who aren't accountants won't understand and won't want to read anyway. So the reason we say that, obviously simplicity is really important, but most prospects, most business owners don't really know what they need, what they want. They know that they want an accountant, but the things that you can help them with, they don't really know. The things that are really valuable to them, they won't know yet. So you would understand that it's when you have that meeting, that communication with the prospect, and you find out what their business is like, find out what they're like, find out what problems they're facing, then you can see which ways you can help them. So your site, don't view it as an e-commerce site, obviously, where they're going to make like impulse purchases. It's not going to be like that. They're going to hire you based on trust and not just a long list of dot-pointed services. So remember, the main purpose is to get a conversation started with you. And you don't want to let a huge technical list get in the way of that. So on that page and right throughout the website again, avoid jargon and marketing language. So jargon is always a mistake in marketing. So use very basic language that people can understand, none of those technical descriptions, as I mentioned. The best way to here is to use case studies and testimonials to show that you've got outcomes for a client, rather than a long section of content about what you can do that people might not fully understand. Hear from your current clients and let them communicate your value. So content and blogging. So far that we've said to keep the content fairly simple, but you could add more depth on your blog. That could be one place you add a bit more depth. People want to read about content that relates to them, content that speaks to their pain points as well. So we call that expert content, and it can be really powerful, really beneficial for you. And the reason that is, if someone comes to your website and they see that you're writing about their pain points, writing about issues that they're struggling with in their business at the moment, whether it's cash flow or something like that, then that's likely to resonate with them, and it's likely to build trust as well, which I mentioned is so, so important. So business advisory content works pretty well, but we would definitely suggest avoiding compliance or tax content because they're really just not interested in reading about that. That's why they're hiring you to know that stuff. So maybe stick to business advisory content. Use your blog to communicate your personality as well. As I mentioned, the more you can humanize your website, the better. The more you can bring your personality through, the better. So your blog can be a good way to differentiate yourself as well, and you can write a bit more conversationally, and it's a good way to keep your site updated as well, which isn't one thing I might briefly touch on later about SEO. Keeping your site updated can help. So if you don't want to write blogs yourself, you can hire freelancers or specialist companies, and BizInc actually offer a business booster blogging service as well. So we've got a library of about 160 plus blogs you can choose from, and you can edit them as you wish, but that's a service that we offer as well. So I also wanted to briefly talk about what we call partner content, so other content that you can add to your site. So you might be a Xero partner, certified advisor, or QuickBooks or something like that. You might have a page or two on your site about their products and about how you can help. You might offer training or set up support, something like that. If it's that a service you offer, it might be good to have some information about that product on your site, and that can be included on BizInc's site as well. We have quite a few options like Xero and QuickBooks and MYOB. So we also offer some resources as well, so they can get some short videos and training on your website as well. So it's good to have all that included within the one spot on your website. So your website then becomes like a portal for training and learning, and they'll be coming back to it more regularly. So your contact page. This is an essential. And I have seen accounting websites without a contact page, believe it or not. So make sure you have a contact page. But you don't want that to be the only way for people to contact you. You want to give people lots of ways to get in touch. So I want to talk about what you should include on the contact page. As essentials, you need an email and a phone number on there. Definitely include them. You also might include a contact form. So these are much easier to send from a mobile device. So given the amount of people using mobiles now for the internet, definitely look at including a contact form as well. Also, you might include a Google map. So this helps people find you, obviously, if you put your location in a map and embed that onto your site. So if you use a Google map and you use your Google My Business listing, it can help your search engine ranking as well. So your web team should be able to help you with that, but BizInc can also help you out if you need to get that set up. It's fairly simple. So unless you're a virtual firm, I would recommend including a Google map on your site because it has multiple benefits of people being able to find you, and it can also help your ranking in Google. So if you're a virtual firm, you don't particularly want to attract clients from your local area, that's fine. You don't have to include that, but it can be a handy way to get recognized in your area. So that's the end of the winning content structure. That's what we see as the winning content structure. You've hopefully already got that on your website, or hopefully have seen that or know about it. That's what we've found works the best. We often find that the simplest sites do work the best. So you could have, just to recap, you have a homepage, an About Us, or a team page. Maybe you have both of them. a services page or two, and then you can add some depth with a blog, some expert content or resources, and some partner content like from QuickBooks. But now I want to talk about some other things that you can put on your website to turn it from a website that's just like everyone else's into something that's actually bringing you leads. So we'll talk about lead magnets. There's an alarming fact that most visitors to an accounting website will never get in touch with you. And you probably know that. That's probably the experience for most of you, because that's just the nature of the accounting and bookkeeping profession. People procrastinate, they take a long time to buy. It's not an easy or a quick decision to make. That's obviously understandable. It's not, like I mentioned, an e-commerce site. People are going to be making impulse purchases. So people do take some time. Switching accountants isn't exactly an easy decision, an easy process. So you need to think about, how can I turn my website traffic into clients if people aren't getting in touch? And how can we do that? The answer is lead magnets. So lead magnets are an exchange of value. So you give away something valuable on your site in return for something else valuable to you. So we suggest you would give away some content on your website and do that in return for a visitor's email address. And that's really valuable, because once you have their email address, you have permission to keep talking to them and you have their contact details. So that means that if you do keep in touch with them, obviously, once they're ready to engage an accountant, you can be top of mind them. So it is really important to be following up on that once you have their email address, to be getting in touch with them. So an example of a lead magnet, this is one that we've created that we have available as well. So this is on the homepage of one of our clients' sites. So we created this business plan course. So it includes a template as well. So prospects come to their website, they put in their email address there, click submit, and then they get emailed a 7-part course and template for them. And we know that's really popular with small business owners especially, because it's one of the most searched terms, a business plan template. So we know that people want a plan, they need a plan for, as you know, many different reasons, but they want a template for it, and many people would turn to Google for that. So this could be a good option for you to include as well on your site. And there's a good value exchange going on here as well. The bookkeeper gets the accountant gets an email address, and the business owner gets valuable content. So there's a really good exchange going on there. And as I mentioned, it goes back to building trust and credibility. This is another way that you can build that on your site. So we said that was really important, and this is another option there. So we'd really recommend you get a lead magnet put onto your site. So choose a piece of content, maybe an ebook, or maybe it's a course, maybe it's some kind of report. Choose a piece of content that resonates with your audience, that they want to read about, that they want to learn about, that's important to them. Obviously a business plan they need, so they need a template for it, they want a template for it. So choose some type of content that your audience is going to like and want to grab, and offer that in return for their email address. So as I mentioned, once you do have that email address, you're definitely going to want to keep talking to them. So you want to send them some emails. And the marketing word for that is nurturing. So you nurture the lead until they're sales ready. And a lot of accountants that we've come in touch with actually aren't doing much email marketing. So I won't get into that today, but basically, it's really important, because people buy when they want to. As I mentioned, people procrastinate, and it's not an easy decision. It's not going to be, they come to your website and buy straight away. So with accounting, that can be quite a waiting game before they are sales ready. It might be 3 months, could be up to 2 years. You don't know before they're ready to engage you. So that's why having an email address for them and their contact details is really valuable. So send them some more valuable content once you have their email address. Send them some more information about yourself, or maybe you have other content as well relating to how you can help them. send that over some time. But obviously don't be too pushy, don't send too many emails, don't sell too hard to them or anything like that, but just keep in touch with them and make sure you're reminding them subtly of your credibility and build that trust with them. So design. This is what I mentioned is probably not as important as you think, and this usually gets some people quite intrigued. But I don't mean you should have a shabby or a poor, crappy-looking website. Not at all. We just see firms spend a lot of time and money on design, but not enough on other parts of the website, like good content, good structure, or a lead magnet, as I was just talking about. So you all would have a certain budget to get a website done. So don't splash all of that on this design element and neglect other parts of the website. It's pretty easy to get a good looking website done that doesn't cost too much money now. So if you have extra money, put it into marketing, put it into content. So BizInk's websites come with, we've got obviously quite a few options for you, but they can come with a nice design so that you don't have to worry so much about that, and you can put more effort into the marketing or the content. So it's what I'm saying is it's fairly easy to get a good looking website done nowadays for not so much money. So just don't get too hung up and too focused on this element. So I wanted to talk about, we'll get into, I said there was some key ingredients or some essentials that you need. So the first one of these is mobile friendliness. So it really is an essential now, because if your website isn't mobile friendly and someone searches for you in Google, you won't appear in Google's listings. So if your site isn't mobile friendly and someone is on their mobile searching for you, and you won't come up. You won't come up as an option if you're not mobile friendly. So that's really important to have a mobile friendly website. And it's especially bad if you don't have a mobile friendly website, because now over 50% of searches in Google are from mobile devices. So if you don't have a mobile friendly site, you just don't exist as an option to them. And you just don't want that to happen. So there is a way to check if you don't know if your site is mobile friendly or not. You can search in Google for Google Mobile Friendly Test, or I'll talk about this a bit more at the end. We check it as part of the BizInk website audit. So you can go to our website and search for website audit, put in your details, and we'll review your website for you, and we'll check if it's mobile friendly or not. That's one part of our audit. So if you do fail that mobile friendly test, make sure you go and get a mobile friendly website. It's so important, and it's so much easier to get a new design, a new mobile friendly design, rather than trying to fit mobile friendliness retrofit it onto an existing website. So it's better just to get a new design if you don't have that. And mobile, all of BizInk sites are mobile friendly. That's absolutely standard, and it should be on any modern website platform nowadays. So they shouldn't be charging you extra for that. So security, this is the other essential. So it's another thing. The reason it's essential is because Google have changed the way this works. They've made it basically required now to have a secure certificate on your website. So it's pretty technical, but it's called an SSL certificate. So having one on your website means the traffic between you and the website is encrypted, and that's a good thing. So Google will now show not secure next to your web address if you don't have a secure certificate on the front and the back end of your website. So I wanted to quickly show you how that looks. I've blurred out the web address there, but that would display. So this is kind of, obviously looks like a not a great error message that comes up. So you don't want this to come up when people are trying to access your website. So it's mentioning there that attackers might be trying to steal your information, like passwords or credit card details or something like that. This is a message from Google that comes up if you don't have that security certificate there. The actual security risk, though, of this happening probably isn't that high. the actual risk of your details being hacked because of not having that, but it's definitely not a good look. You don't want that coming up, and visitors will definitely leave your site. They can't get through to your site easily. So make sure you have an SSL certificate on your site. They're not that expensive nowadays, and this also comes standard on BizInc sites as well. So it's really important to have that security there. You don't want this message coming up because as accountants, you know, it's so important. You're dealing with people's personal finances. Trust and credibility, again, is so vital. So make sure you get one of those sorted. And BizInc can help you with that as well. So reporting and testing. The web now gives us so much information about how our marketing is performing, and we get a lot of information and reporting tools at our fingertips about how we're doing. So you should be using that data, finding that data, using that data to refine your website and improve your marketing as well. So we'd recommend using Google Analytics. So there's a free tool. Probably a lot of you, if you have a website, you probably already have this linked up. But if you don't, you can get a free account really easily, quite quick to set up as well. So this could be quite a huge topic. There's quite a number of tools out there to help you assess your marketing, but Google Analytics, we'd say, is the basic minimum reporting tool, and it's actually really, really powerful. So stick with that. You can get information about maybe a certain landing page or a certain certain page on your website is performing really well or not so well, so you can adjust it and refine it as necessary. So that can really help your marketing. And the final thing I wanted to talk about is some tools and extras. So these are those little apps and add-ons I said that can give your site a bit of a boost. So the first one is appointment booking apps. You might have used these before. I showed you earlier on C-Change Accounting's website. They had a book an appointment button. So you might have used Calendly, Acuity, or Timely are the ones that we often see and recommend. So we use Acuity. If you go to bizinconline.com and you click book a demo, you'll see it pops up an app where you can choose times to talk to somebody in our teams and find out more about BizInc. So if you do want to find out more about BizInc, you can go via that way. But we use Acuity there. So it's a really great thing we added to our site, because when we did the amount of demos booked through our site went up by 1/3, just because we made it easier for people to get in touch with us and to book a demo. So I'll send some links to those appointment booking apps that I mentioned. I'll send that in the follow-up email as well. But it can also, appointment booking apps can have another benefit. One we didn't actually see coming as well is reducing admin time. So you've probably already experienced trying to find a time with somebody that suits both of you. You might be emailing backwards and forwards. Can you do Wednesday afternoon? No, I can't. Can you do Thursday morning? Going back and forward, and it's just a bit of a waste of time. So this is a really great option, and it's a really professional look for your business to have this on your site as well. People can go in and easily, quickly choose the time that suits them, and it syncs up with both your calendars. So I'll send some more information about that as well. Another little tool I wanted to talk about is live chat. So this might not be for everyone, but we're talking about really great accounting websites here, and this is what I have seen on some great websites. So I have seen it work well. Usually you see like a little live chat pop up in usually the bottom right corner of a website. It's kind of like an instant messenger chat option. People do have some reservations about it though. Accountants, as in we don't want to man it all the time. We don't want to be looking after that all the time, taking up too much of our time, having a live chat option. But if you are at your desk all the time and it's just sitting there open, it probably isn't going to be a huge problem or to respond to those inquiries. And you're not going to suddenly get heaps of messages coming through, but it just goes back to those calls to action and to to letting people get in touch with you in the way that they prefer. So some people will like a live chat option. Oops, sorry. Looks like my screen's
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anthea.
Sorry, I'll keep going for you. I was just going to talk about live chat options. Zendesk, OLARC, and vCETA, I'll send some information about that as well. So if you do have a receptionist, though, they could be manning this if they're already manning phones or emails as well. Why not have this other form of communication? Just to quickly sum up, 2 essentials are mobile friendliness and having a secure certificate. So Google has made these a requirement, but it is a good thing, and it will result in sites that are easier to use and sites that have increased security. Design, don't spend all your budget on design. It's not as important as you probably think. So we're not saying get a bad design, but a good design is not that expensive. So across the whole site, less is more. So remember the importance of simplicity here. You sell through conversations and you sell through meetings. Don't look at your site as an e-commerce site. Make it stupidly easy to get in touch. So make sure you have your phone number on every page. Make sure you have contact details on every page. So include phone number, an email, a contact us button. You might have a booking app or a live chat. Lead magnets, these are great ways to turn visitors into clients, to turn prospects into paying customers. So very few people will actually get in touch with you, even if you do make it easy for them. And it's not because your website is bad or because your firm is bad, but it's just the nature of how people buy and how people engage accountants. So they take their time and they procrastinate a little bit. So get their details and keep talking to them. Do that email marketing and stay top of mind so when they are ready to purchase, they think of you. Test and refine your site. As I mentioned, Google Analytics is a good option for this. The web gives us a ton of opportunities to see how you've been doing with your marketing, so use that data to improve and refine your marketing. And those apps and add-ons that can add value once the basics are done, as I mentioned, appointment booking and live chat. I'll send some more information about that after. So that's the end of the content. I just wanted to quickly mention the special offer we have for you today. If you sign up for a BizInc website before December 31st, you'll receive free email marketing and a monthly newsletter written for you. So the usual cost is $199 per month. So we've got that special offer for you all today. And also down the bottom, I've included the link for the free website audit, which I briefly mentioned. So we'll have a look at your current website and review it, give you some suggestions on how you can improve it. So we'll check that if it's mobile friendly. We'll check out a few other things on your site and give you some feedback as well. So if you have any questions, we'll do the Q&A now, but head to bizinconline.com and book a demo if you're interested in BizInc sites.
Thanks so much, Anthea. That was fantastic. I know I was going to ask you a couple of questions, and this is, for me, I'm a bit of a rookie when it comes to website building, and that's not my jam at all. But specifically just, things like SEO, what are some of the tips, tricks, what are the easy things you can recommend for people around things like SEO when it's time, how you should do it, how long you can expect to invest in it as well?
Yeah, so SEO is a bit of a hot topic. There's a lot of disagreement out there about it. What we at BizInc, what we've found is that once you get the basics sorted, to actually do SEO properly, you're going to have to invest quite a fair amount of money to see some results. So what we would suggest is getting those basics sorted. Definitely, they can have some great benefits for you, but then we'd probably recommend investing in marketing or in other in other, like a lead magnet or something, rather so much than SEO. But what you can do is optimize some pages on your site. So you might optimize a page for a certain phrase, or if you think about the way people use Google, they might be searching for accountants and then your local area. So you might have a page with that in the title, the link, and in the content a bit. So make sure you try and fit that page to the phrase that people are using, and that'll give you a chance of ranking better in Google. So the other thing that you'll want to have for SEO is have lots of people ranking to your firm, linking to your sites, linking to your firm's website. So social media is really great for SEO as well. People often get bogged down in SEO, but try and get some online directories or other websites or social media linking to your site, because that can improve as well. And I did briefly mention about the Google Map can also have, if you use the Google My Business listing, that can, on your website, you can embed the Google Map there, and that can have a good effect on your SEO as well. So it's probably not as important as you think, and you're going to have to invest a fair amount of money to get some good results. It can work, but there are other things that can work better, like marketing and social media, we've found deliver better results. So you've probably got like a limited time and limited budget, so it makes sense to spend that time and money on the marketing that will deliver you the best results, and often that isn't SEO.
Awesome. Well, yeah, no, fantastic. And as I said, anyone can come and reach out to answer you if they've got more questions around SEO. The only other one I wanted to quickly quiz you on, I guess, was just the spam laws around email marketing and all those kinds of things. Again, it's not clear for me, and I'm sure it's not clear for everyone else playing along at home as well. But yeah, well, talk us through spam laws, email marketing, and things that people need to be aware of, or what they need to include when they are doing that, if you can.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we do often get this question, especially when we're talking about lead magnets. So we are getting people's email addresses, and there are, anti-spam laws that you have to abide by. So those are different in each country, but a lead magnet is a classic example of getting somebody's permission to email them. So you could spell it out a bit more on your site if you want to. You might say, if you sign up here, we might send you some more emails, so that if they do sign up, they've seen it and they've agreed to it, then it's absolutely fine to keep emailing them. Obviously, it's good to think about what you would like to receive if you put your email somewhere. You wouldn't like to be receiving 20 emails per day or something, being spammed like that, but just have some common sense about it as well. So one thing you do need is to have an unsubscribe button. So you need to make sure you have a clear unsubscribe link. Usually you see that at the bottom of an email somewhere. So all the emails you send out, you don't want to force people to keep receiving them. So they have to be able to unsubscribe. But people do often get worried about this when they're doing email marketing. There's a few laws to abide by, but if you do have the permission, it's fine to send them some emails. And people actually, if you're sending them valuable content, they'll appreciate it anyway. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else, while we're asking questions, I'll just throw it out there for anyone else listening there that wants to ask a question that hasn't been answered. There is a Q&A button or a question button. Feel free to put that in whilst we're talking. Otherwise, the last question I've really got is probably more so around, like we talked about email marketing, SEO, more so around blogging. For me, I like to do a bit of writing, a bit of blogging, but what advice do you give to people that are trying to figure out what they should write about, and how often they should be writing, or what they should do? Any good tips you can give us for that?
Yeah, I have actually read your blog sometimes, Trent, so I know you do like writing as well. So yeah, we'd probably recommend blogging regularly. It's a great way to keep your site updated, and it has a good impact on SEO. So regularly, I'd recommend at least once a fortnight, I'd say, is probably what I'd recommend, but more often if you can. And Bizink's blogging service is a good option there as well. In terms of what to write about, I briefly mentioned that business advisory content works better than like compliance content. But what you really want to think about your clients' pain points, and think about questions that you get asked a lot by your clients. Because if you're getting asked that by your clients, it's likely that other prospects, other business owners are thinking about those things as well. So if they come to your site and see that you're writing about that kind of stuff that they're experiencing in their business, then that's likely to resonate with them, and more likely to get them to get in touch with you, because they know that you understand what's going on in their business. So try and blog regularly if you can. You can BizInk's business booster blogging service, you can edit. So even if you want to use it more as a template, and then you can take those blogs and edit them and make them a bit personal, that could be a good option as well. But try and think about your clients' pain points, because if you're writing about them, then that's likely to attract them to you.
Amazing. Well, I just want to take the time to thank you, Anthea, for sharing all your pearls of wisdom with us today. So for everyone listening along, if you've got any questions, you want to check out more information, go to bizinkonline.com. And again, don't forget about the free website audit that's also listed there on screen. For anyone that's interested to look at how we embed Practice Ignition into your website so you can actually help collect leads, get your proposals built on the back end, you'll hear from us as well, so we'll reach out to you around that. But we haven't had any questions come through, so again, I'm just going to say thank you again for joining us today. Thank you again if this is you on seeing the recording, and we'll chat to you again soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Trent. Thanks to Practice Ignition for having BizInk online today, and thanks to everyone for coming along.
Thanks again. We'll see you later.